Have you ever observed how your priorities can change as you age? What once seemed crucial, such as having a wide circle of friends, might not feel as significant now. It's important to recognize that while friendships can be valuable, many people find fulfillment and happiness in different ways after 70. It's all about what works best for you. It may seem unexpected at first, but as you delve deeper, you'll understand why prioritizing your independence and well-being can truly be one of the most rewarding choices you can make. In this video, we'll take a closer look at 6 reasons why friendships may not be as essential as we often think. In your later years, just like before, we will explore how your mindset, personal freedom, and even your health can flourish when you let go of friendships that no longer benefit you. This journey is not about feeling lonely. It's about embracing life in a way that aligns with your own values. Liberated from the pressures and obligations that often accompany social connections. Stick around until the end, as you might discover that releasing the pressure to uphold friendships can be incredibly freeing. This shift could positively transform your self-perception and enhance your later years. Let's dive in and begin our journey together. First and foremost, remember that you don't have to prove anything to anyone anymore. As we reach the age of 70, many find that the need for social validation diminishes. You've already experienced the importance of friendships and connections throughout your life. And now you can embrace a sense of independence and self-acceptance. Reflect on your earlier days. Have you ever noticed how many friendships can sometimes focus on proving ourselves, fitting in, or maintaining a certain image? It's common to feel the pressure of wanting to impress colleagues, maintain social connections, and ensure you're included in gatherings. These feelings of wanting to be seen and accepted are something many people experience. At this point in your life, you can let go of those past concerns. Your legacy is already established in the eyes of those around you. They no longer carry the same significance they used to. At this stage in life, you've likely realized that genuine fulfillment isn't about seeking approval from others. It truly comes from within yourself. It's wonderful to realize that friendships can be built on genuine connection rather than status, reputation, or social standing. Embrace your true self, and remember that you don't require anyone else's approval to know your worth. It's common for younger individuals to find themselves preoccupied with thoughts about how others view them, including whether they are liked, admired, or respected. As you move into your later years, you'll come to understand that your worth is not defined by those things. You have the power to determine your own worth, and it's important to remember that you don't need others to validate it. Consider someone like Harold, a man in his early 70s, who dedicated a significant part of his life to advancing in the corporate world. He was consistently in the company of others, whether they were colleagues, acquaintances, or those who called themselves friends. However, many of those relationships were formed out of convenience instead of authentic connection. Once he retired, those friendships gradually diminished. Initially, he sensed the importance of reaching out, wanting to nurture those connections. However, he experienced a moment of clarity. What motivates him to invest in friendships that were formed in a work environment? It's important to reflect on the value of the relationships we pursue. Focusing on connections that hold genuine significance can lead to more fulfilling experiences, rather than clinging to friendships simply because they were familiar. Harold decided to turn his attention inward. He began dedicating more time to his personal hobbies, rekindled old interests, and, most importantly, he let go of the need to impress others. He discovered that without the pressure of keeping up with friendships, he felt a newfound sense of freedom. He no longer has to engage in small talk that feels obligatory. Nor does he need to stress about social expectations or whether others appreciate him. He was finally focusing on himself. And for the first time in a long while, that brought him a sense of joy. That's the essential point. As you begin to let go of the need for validation from others, you'll discover just how much energy you had been investing in friendships that didn't truly enrich your life. It's important to remember that you no longer have to seek validation from others. It's important to remember that you are on your own unique journey. And there's no need to measure yourself against the expectations of others. You are the one who holds the key to your own journey. Secondly, you'll find that peace takes on greater importance than socializing. As you age, a transformation occurs. Finding peace can often feel more rewarding than engaging in social activities. During your younger years, Being around others may have seemed essential. The sounds, the social events, the discussions, each element contributed to a life that truly felt fulfilling. As time passes, you begin to find a deeper appreciation for the quieter moments. It's about finding a peaceful quiet that lets you feel completely at ease, liberated from unnecessary drama, obligations, and the exhaustion that can come from social interactions. Every friendship, including the wonderful ones, carries its own set of responsibilities. It's important to remember to return those phone calls, accept invitations, and keep up with the expectations of staying in touch. Each step helps strengthen our connections. Friendships can be quite valuable. At times, it can seem like the effort involved outweighs the benefits. It's important to remember that you don't need to invest your energy in comparing yourself to others. It's important to remember that you are not required to be available simply to meet someone else's expectations. This is an exciting time in your life where you have the freedom to choose how to spend your time. Embrace this opportunity to explore what truly matters to you. Let's consider Margaret as a great example. At 74, she has enjoyed a vibrant social life with a wide circle of friends in the past. Enjoying lunches together, connecting through group calls, and celebrating during holiday gatherings. Her calendar was consistently packed. As time went on, she began to realize that many of these social interactions left her feeling more drained than fulfilled. The discussion began to feel a bit redundant. It's interesting how certain stories seem to resurface time and again. It seems that some friends reach out primarily to share their frustrations. It appeared that some individuals were more focused on gossip rather than engaging in deeper, more meaningful conversations. What once brought her joy and companionship has gradually become a routine that no longer brings her happiness. One day, Margaret made the thoughtful choice to take a step back. She embraced the freedom of saying no to invitations without guilt. She didn't feel very enthusiastic about it. She embraced the freedom of not feeling obligated to reply to every call or text right away. Instead, she began to welcome the stillness. She discovered that the time she previously dedicated to managing friendships was now available for her to use in ways that brought her joy and fulfillment. She enjoyed longer walks, embraced the beauty of nature, and finally dove into the books she had been wanting to read for years. She came to understand that solitude could be a fulfilling experience rather than a lonely one. The atmosphere was calm and serene. This stage in life truly holds its own special beauty. It's perfectly okay to take a step back and allow yourself some quiet time without the pressure of being constantly active or engaged in conversation. It's wonderful to embrace your own company and find joy in it, allowing you to feel connected without relying on constant validation from others. You have the opportunity to embrace peace instead of pressure and to select calm rather than chaos. If you've ever felt a bit guilty about stepping back from social commitments, take a moment to remind yourself of this important truth. You are actively engaging with life. You're discovering a new sense of fulfillment that originates from within yourself, independent of others. That kind of peace truly deepens and improves as time goes on. If you're enjoying this video and finding the insights helpful, I would love for you to comment number 2 below to let me know you're with me. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is a great time to do so. Be sure to turn on the bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. Let's take the next step together. Having fewer friendships can lead to fewer disappointments. One of the important lessons in life is understanding that not everyone you consider a friend will always be there for you. Throughout the years, you may have encountered this. It can be tough when people who were once close start to drift away, especially friends who seem to become distant just when you need them the most. Many of these relationships ended up being one-sided. As you approach 70, you begin to realize that having fewer friendships can actually lead to a lighter social load, allowing for more meaningful connections. This also leads to a reduction in disappointments. Friendships, regardless of their strength, involve certain expectations. It's important to stay connected, be present, and provide support when needed. It's important to consider what occurs when those expectations fall short. Feeling disappointed is a natural part of life. It's okay to acknowledge those feelings and understand that they can lead to growth and new opportunities. Remember, it's important to take a moment to reflect and find ways to move forward positively. When you reach out to someone and they don't return your call, it can be a bit disheartening. Remember, there could be many reasons for their silence, And it's perfectly okay to give them some time. Stay positive and consider following up later if you feel it's necessary. It's great that you're putting in the effort, even if it feels like it's not being returned. It seems you often give more than you get in return. At this point in your life, is that kind of stress truly necessary for you? Unfortunately, the answer is no. Consider William, for instance. At 78, he has experienced the ebb and flow of friendships throughout his life. Some came to a gentle close, while others gradually diminished. He came to understand that he was consistently the one making the effort. Some individuals he had known for many years seemed to drift away, becoming preoccupied, distracted, or less engaged in nurturing their relationships. Initially, it was a bit uncomfortable. He reflected on his actions, curious about what might have gone amiss. It's interesting to consider why some individuals might overlook him. However, he came to an important understanding. He remained the same as before. He decided to no longer accept friendships that didn't offer mutual support and understanding. That's the important point. By releasing the notion that you need a big circle of friends, you free yourself from the disappointments that often arise from unmet expectations. It's completely understandable to feel a bit let down when someone doesn't reach out. Remember, it's okay to express your feelings and seek connection when you need it. It's completely normal to feel a bit disappointed when a friendship changes over time. Instead, you have the opportunity to concentrate on the most important person in your life, yourself. Remember, this doesn't mean you need to withdraw from others. It means you're prioritizing quality instead of quantity. You focus on nurturing the relationships that are most meaningful to you, rather than spreading yourself thin with a long list of acquaintances. Those that fill your heart with happiness and come naturally without any strain to maintain. It could be with family, a lifelong friend, or even nurturing a strong connection with yourself. Those are the relationships that truly matter. If you've ever found that friendships seem to create more stress than happiness, it's perfectly fine to take a step back and reassess your situation. Choosing simplicity over complexity and peace over frustration is a perfectly valid decision. It's a step towards a more fulfilling life. A fulfilling life doesn't require a lengthy list of friends. It's important to release those who were never genuinely supportive from your life. Your time truly becomes more valuable. As you age, you come to understand that time is truly your most precious asset. In your younger years, it likely seemed like time was abundant and always on your side. Having extra time allows you to nurture friendships, invest in your social circles, and reflect on the relationships that matter most to you. As you approach the age of 70, you'll find that your perspective begins to change. It's wonderful to realize that each hour, each day, and every moment holds great value. When you recognize the true worth of your time, you naturally start to be more intentional about how you choose to spend it. Friendships can bring so much joy and fulfillment, but they also need time and effort to thrive. There are important calls to make, visits to arrange, and plans to follow through on. It's important to recognize that while some connections can be valuable and enriching, others may just be patterns we've grown accustomed to. Sometimes, we hold on to past relationships more out of a sense of duty than true happiness. It's important to reflect on what truly brings us joy. At this point in your journey, it's perfectly okay to reflect on whether this is how you truly wish to spend your time. Is this friendship contributing positively to my happiness? Or does it seem like just another task to add to my to-do list? Consider Richard, a gentleman in his early 80s who used to enjoy a vibrant social life, filled with dinner parties, group outings, and frequent phone conversations. However, as time went on, he began to experience a shift in his feelings. The lengthy conversations that used to bring joy now seemed to take a toll on my energy. What once brought joy in social gatherings now feels more like a duty. One day, while sitting through another lunch filled with small talk and complaints, he came to a realization: he no longer wanted to spend his time this way. He decided to make a change. He began to break the habit of saying yes and started to confidently say no when he didn't feel like going out. Rather than investing hours in gossip or listening to complaints, he chose to focus on activities that genuinely brought him happiness. Engaging in reading, taking leisurely walks, exploring new knowledge, and savoring the tranquility of one's own company can be incredibly fulfilling. What's truly unexpected is this: He felt a sense of companionship. He truly felt a sense of fulfillment like never before, as he dedicated his time to pursuits that resonated with him, rather than conforming to others' expectations. That's the essential point. By releasing friendships that no longer serve you, you open up the opportunity to invest in something truly precious, time for yourself. It's a wonderful opportunity to engage in the activities that bring you joy. It's a wonderful opportunity to embrace life in a way that feels right for you. It's important to prioritize your own happiness and well-being rather than solely focusing on fulfilling the needs of others. If you ever find yourself wondering about the value of certain friendships, take a moment to reflect. Is this truly the best use of my time? At this point in your life, remember that your time is yours to manage as you see fit. You have every right to use it in the way that feels best for you. If you're still with us and finding these insights helpful, I'd love for you to comment number 4 below to show your support. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is a great time to do so. Be sure to turn on the bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. Your support enables us to keep producing valuable content that informs and inspires you. Thank you for being a part of our journey. Let's take the next step together. True companionship begins from within ourselves. Many people believe that having a large circle of friends is essential for happiness as we age. But this is a common misconception. The reality is that the most valuable companionship you can cultivate is the one you create with yourself. Reaching the age of 70 is a wonderful milestone, reflecting decades of learning, growth, and personal evolution. Trust in your own understanding of yourself. No one knows you better than you do. With that self-awareness, you'll discover a powerful truth: you are enough. Throughout our lives, we often learn to look for companionship beyond our own selves. It's often said that connecting with others is essential for our happiness, and that experiencing loneliness can be daunting. It's important to recognize that being alone is not the same as feeling lonely. Many of the happiest individuals in their later years find joy in solitude, viewing it not as a form of isolation, but as a valuable chance for self-discovery, reflection, and inner peace. Consider Eleanor, for instance. At 76, she once thought that being surrounded by others was essential for her sense of fulfillment. She consistently made plans, reached out to friends, and kept her days full of engaging activities. However, as time went on, she began to observe something interesting. Even though she was socially active, she frequently found herself feeling more drained than uplifted. She came to understand that several of her friendships were built on routine rather than authentic connection. She realized that she was often changing herself to fit into conversations, trying to meet social expectations, and working hard to avoid feeling excluded. Then one day, she paused. She chose to dedicate time to herself just as she would for a cherished friend. Engaging in activities she loved, reflecting on her thoughts, and savoring her own presence. She enjoyed long walks, embracing the solitude without the urge to reach out to anyone. She chose to visit cafes with a book in hand, enjoying the quiet moments rather than engaging in small talk. She enjoyed peaceful evenings, taking time to reflect on her life, rather than feeling pressured to maintain friendships out of a sense of obligation. To her delight, she discovered a sense of lightness, happiness, and peace that she hadn't experienced in years. Many people often overlook this important fact. True companionship is not measured by the number of people surrounding you. Your comfort with yourself is what truly matters. By choosing to rely on yourself for entertainment, validation, and conversation, you open the door to a wonderful sense of freedom that many may not fully understand. It's wonderful to realize that you can find fulfillment without relying on external distractions. Embrace this opportunity for personal growth and self-discovery. You have the power to cultivate your own joy, gain wisdom, and find fulfillment within yourself. And the wonderful aspect of this? When you genuinely appreciate your own company, you naturally draw in relationships that feel easy and fulfilling. When you focus on your own journey, you'll discover that the right friendships will come into your life organically, rather than from a place of loneliness. Surround yourself with individuals who honor your boundaries, appreciate your principles, and contribute to a sense of calm rather than stress. If you've ever felt concerned about letting go of friendships and the loneliness it might bring, take heart in knowing that the best company you can have is already within you. By embracing that, you'll come to understand that you were never truly alone to begin with. Letting go can truly open the door to a more fulfilling life. One of the most empowering steps you can take after 70 is to embrace the art of letting go. It's important to release the pressure of holding on to friendships that no longer bring you happiness. Release the notion that your value is determined by your social circle. Release the idea that solitude equates to loneliness. When you let go of these expectations, you create space for a life that is simpler, more liberated, and truly rewarding. It's common for individuals to maintain friendships out of routine, even when those connections may not be enriching their lives anymore. Many find themselves attending gatherings that don't bring them joy, answering calls out of a sense of duty, and maintaining appearances simply because it's been the norm for so long. Imagine a scenario where you could skip all of that effort. Imagine giving yourself the freedom to release friendships that feel burdensome, and instead, channeling your energy into the activities and relationships that genuinely bring you joy. Think about James, a gentleman in his late 70s who has always held the belief that maintaining social connections is essential for healthy aging. He took the initiative to reach out to old friends, maintaining connections even when those relationships had grown a bit distant or surface level. He filled his days with social obligations, believing that keeping himself busy would lead to a sense of fulfillment. One day, he came to an important realization. He wasn't finding joy in it. The discussions seemed to follow the same pattern. The gatherings seemed to follow a familiar pattern. And deep down, he sensed a greater fatigue than a sense of connection. He decided to take a step forward. He decided to let go of friendships that no longer brought him joy and fulfillment. He began to focus on what was truly important to him. He dedicated more time to enjoying the outdoors, prioritized his health, explored new interests, and welcomed the liberating feeling of living without the pressure of others' expectations. In the process, he uncovered something truly remarkable. He experienced a sense of lightness, joy, and tranquility like never before. Letting go can be a challenging yet transformative experience. It simply means staying open to the world around you. It involves making room for the things that genuinely bring you joy and satisfaction. It's about understanding that your happiness doesn't depend on the number of people in your life, but on how closely you are living in accordance with your true desires and aspirations. When you adopt this mindset, wonderful things begin to unfold. Shift your attention from the people around you to the activities and experiences that truly bring you happiness. As you start to notice the small joys in life, you find delight in the tranquility of a quiet morning, the pleasure of engaging in a hobby without interruptions, and the comfort of being at ease with your own thoughts. It's important to understand that true fulfillment arises not from feeling obligated to maintain friendships, but from embracing a lifestyle that feels authentic and significant to you. If you've ever found yourself wondering whether you're doing enough to nurture your friendships, take a moment to reflect. Is this truly contributing to my happiness? Or am I simply holding on out of habit? When you allow yourself to let go, you'll discover that life can become simpler, lighter, and more fulfilling in ways you might not have anticipated. If you're still with us and finding these insights helpful, I'd love for you to comment number 6 below to show your presence. Your engagement means a lot. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is a great time to do so. Be sure to turn on the bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. Your support enables us to keep producing valuable content that informs and inspires you. As we conclude this video, I encourage you to take a moment to reflect on everything we've covered together. The notion that friendships may change after 70 isn't about being alone. It's about embracing new possibilities and enjoying the freedom that comes with this stage of life. It's all about releasing those extra burdens, prioritizing your peace instead of succumbing to pressure, and welcoming the life you genuinely desire. At this point, you may have noticed that distancing yourself from friendships that no longer contribute positively to your life can lead to unexpected joy, increased time, and a greater sense of fulfillment. What caught your attention the most? Which of these reasons spoke to you the most? It's possible that you've begun to release friendships that seem to require more effort than they brought happiness. It's wonderful to realize how much joy you can find in your own company when you take the time to appreciate it. This video might have offered you a fresh viewpoint on the importance of putting yourself first. And that's perfectly okay. We are eager to hear your thoughts and feedback. We'd love to hear from you. Please share one thing you learned today and how you intend to incorporate it into your life. Your insights can inspire others. We truly value your thoughts, so please feel free to share them with us. Your comments truly inspire and uplift us, providing the motivation we need to keep going. If you found this video enjoyable and helpful, we would greatly appreciate it if you could like, subscribe, and share it with others. Your support enables us to keep producing valuable content that informs and inspires you. We appreciate you taking the time to watch, and we can't wait to connect with you in the next video.